Yo, this ain't your father's MLM. So, hi, I'm Bryon Lape, web entrepreneur, success coach. I don't know what other titles. Someone who's passionate about watching others succeed, helping others succeed. I don't know. I've tried multiple titles and I don't like any of them because they're too narrow. I'm just me, and I love to help people. I am passionate about helping people. Where I work, it is great joy to me for people to come to me with their problems, not to solve them, but to enable them to solve them, to find out what their roadblocks are and get the roadblocks out of the way. I'm a manager of development, and what I like most about it is finding out, hey, we have this problem, this problem, this problem, this problem, and I'll go talk to all those other people and get the issues out of the way. Love it. And I'm starting to, in the last year or so, I've started to do that more in my entrepreneur side of life, and that's actually where I'm trying to get to be more full-time than I am. I've been kind of half-time. I did some things as a ministry for a while, and it's like, I really like that, and I think I can do a better job in a broader sense. So that's who I am, a little bit of my background. And because of all that, because I do homebrew and I do some other things in Cincinnati Craft Beer Examiner and that kind of thing, I have 4 Twitter accounts because I'm just a lunatic. And one of them is in the MLM headaches. So I have Bryon Lape, and I have Brain Muffin, and I have Cincinnati Craft Beer, something like that. Because Cincinnati Craft Beer Examiner is too large, so I had to narrow it down, and I can never remember how that's the problem with having software where they're all loaded, and I just click and I have all my columns. Anyway, so I've had several people sending me messages, sending me direct tweets, and sometimes emails about my MLM Twitter account and what's this MLM headaches business. And so I wanted to do a quick video to address that, because I've gotten several of them, and I kind of get repetitive on the answer. So I thought, hey, I'll put this out, I'll tweet it and say, if you want to understand where I'm coming from MLM, here's the deal. Now, first of all, I don't believe any MLM company right now that's out there that's doing business, especially for more than a few years, is a scam. Let's put it that way right now. I don't believe it's a scam. It is a business model. It is a business model that the Federal Trade Commission watches very carefully. The government is very careful about that. For many years, the plan, the explanation of the plan that was produced by Amway was considered the standard against which all other MLM ideas were measured for legality. And some people, Scamway and whatever. I mean, I've done Amway, I've done Net, it's full disclosure. I've done Herbalife, I did Streamline for a while. Good products. But many times I experience the same things that most MLMers do. You start building a downline, people quit, and so you start to get some income in, and then poof, you get nothing. Then you got to build it all over again, and poof, you get nothing. And you have to buy. I mean, in Streamline, I was like buying 3 times what I needed just to maintain, and I finally said, forget it. There was the home shopping club or something like that I was a part of years ago and was actually making money. Then they changed the comp plan, and I was making no money, so I got out. And it's still around, I believe. And I still, every once in a while, get email about it. People will spam me, hey, I was like, I was like 139. I mean, I was really high in the hierarchy. But anyway, so I know a lot of people think they're scams, and they think they're Ponzi schemes, they're pyramid schemes, and all this other nonsense. Let me tell you, if you have a job right now, you're in a pyramid structure. At the top is the president or the owner, or usually larger corporations, it's a handful of people, but a business is small. If it's a single individual, maybe a family. And so you're at the bottom where it's very wide, where they have a lot of employees, and there's a few managers, and there's probably some district managers, depending on the size of the company, supervisors, blah, and then you get to the top of the pyramid. That's a legal pyramid. Ponzi schemes are not necessarily pyramids. They may have a pyramidal shape. But what the major difference between a legal pyramid and an illegal pyramid, especially when it comes to multi-level, and this is where people miss it all the time, is when you get in, you have to have the same chance to making the compensation that the person that sponsored you and all the way up is making. Now, And that's exactly what an Amway does is at least back, I haven't been in years, but your volume built to a certain level, and your sponsor got credit for your volume to a certain level. And once you reach what they call direct distributor, your sponsor was paid a bonus if they maintained a certain level, but yours no longer counted. So if I sponsor someone in Amway, for a while I'm making slightly more than they do. I'm reaping the benefits of their work. If they go and become a direct, I get a little bit less benefit. If they go on to become diamond and I'm just sitting here at nothing, I hardly get any. Now if I go diamond, I can get a bigger, I think they called it, I forget what they called it, some kind of leadership bonus or something like that. But only if I was successful. So if you're an Amway and your sponsor is as successful as you are, without your input, you can make about the same. And so that's what makes it legal for them, a difference between illegal, because you can get above your sponsor. If you explode out and you have several lines and you go diamond and double diamond and all that, and they're just sitting there at direct, they'll get a little bit of money, but you're getting a boat ton of money. So, and then anybody that you sponsor, the same is true. Whereas in a Ponzi scheme, you don't have a chance. And Social Security, for instance, is a complete and total Ponzi scheme. It's a complete and total illegal pyramid, because people getting in now don't have any prayer of getting the same amount of money out of people who got in 30 years ago. Just isn't going to happen. I mean, I know it's broke and all that other stuff, but that's the difference. So all that aside, deep breath time, cleansing breath. Okay, so, sorry Toby. So why MLM? Why do I pick on MLM? It's not the products. And many times it's not even the people. It is the business model itself. Vast majority of MLMs have unbelievable products. Amway, Herbalife, Streamline, when they were around, had really good products. The research into these is bar none. It's exceptional. Because they have to be. And when the new MLM comes, they have to do a lot of research on what's already out there. And many times they're expensive because of the benefit. I mean, years ago when I was in Amway, this guy took a box of SA8 and he scooped out, he figured out how many loads were in there. And he looked at like Tide and a couple other things. Somewhere I have all these notes. And saw, okay, how many scoops, how much does it cost? Even put shipping in there for the Amway product and how much per load you were paying, and it was always cheaper. Granted, you're getting a bigger box, but it was always cheaper with the MLM products. That was before Sam's and all that other stuff and Costco, so who knows what it would be like today. But when you look at a lot of those things, you know, an SA8 scoop is like that big. I mean, it's small. It's probably a third the size of your typical detergent at a store. So it's not the products. And the people in them usually are very energetic. They're very sincere. They really want to help people. Sometimes they're not sure how to help people, but they really need self-started, self-motivated people, because the training you're going to get is probably not going to be really good, because especially if it's nationwide, because your sponsor is probably going to be somewhere, and I know they've changed a lot and they've gotten better, but the training is usually decent, okay? But it's the business model itself. This is why I harp on MLMs of all kinds. It's the business model. It's not the products. The products are all excellent. The people are good. They're good natured. They're good meaning. If they are trying to scam somebody, well, guess what? Someone will figure it out, and the attorney general will be knocking on their door, and they'll be in jail. So it is the business model. What do I mean by that? When you go through the MLM and you keep building a downline, you are relying on the people below you making sales. If all you do is sponsor people and they don't do anything, they don't go to meetings, they don't buy any products, they don't sell any products, you make that much money from them. Okay? It's just like a McDonald's. If they give a franchise to someone who then, the doors are always closed, doesn't hire anybody, never makes any hamburgers, never sells any French fries, guess what? That McDonald's is going to be closed. Now, the major difference between a franchise and MLM is your major MLM company doesn't care. If you buy the kit, they don't care if you ever make money again. But McDonald's will close the store, okay? Because it's their brand that's the problem. It's their brand that's in trouble. So because of that, and people will quit, they'll do it for 2 months. They won't understand the business. They'll think that all they have to do is, and money will fall from the sky. They don't understand that any business, I don't care what you're in, is a lot of work. It's a lot of great work, but if you're not willing to put in the time and the effort, in the concentration, you're going to get nothing. Okay, it's a lot harder than having a job where you just show up and they pay you just enough for you to not quit and you do just enough work to not get fired. That's essentially what a job is. But when you're the entrepreneur and you're the business owner and it's your direct efforts, you're going to put blood, sweat, and tears, or you're going to go hungry. So many home businesses, MLM in particular, suffer from that because people don't treat it as an actual business and they think all I got to do is sit here and people are going to call me for the products. Doesn't happen. So it's the business model itself. So this is why I'm more into direct sales, and also why I'm getting more and more into phone marketing and internet marketing somewhat. The problem with internet marketing is just there's millions of people out there doing it, and unless you spend a lot of money on articles and all kinds of services to get things blown out, and I still blog, I love it, but I'm not expecting to make millions of dollars from it because it's very, very tough to do that unless you have deep pockets for your advertising. So why I'm in direct sales is because my efforts are a direct reflection of my results. I don't have to rely on someone else to sell something for me. So whether it's Empower Network, whether it's ProU, it doesn't matter which direct sales funnel I'm utilizing, my efforts are directly reflected in my results. Whereas in an MLM, my results are not a direct reflection of my efforts, they're a direct reflection of my downline's efforts and some of mine. They're kind of summed up in there depending on the structure of the comp plan and everything else. So, and because it's so inexpensive, you need them, $100, $200. Many times the problem with starting a home business that cheap is people treat it that cheaply. They don't treat it as a real business. They don't treat it as $1 million business. And I don't care. You can do any MLM, any direct sales, anything, and I don't care if it's $10 or $10,000 when you buy whatever it is that you're buying, whatever the product is, with the service, part of a network, part of information, it doesn't matter. If you don't treat it as a multi-million-dollar business, and I'm dead serious here, okay? If you do not treat it like a multi-million-dollar business, it never will be one. And you'll be out of business and you'll think this is a scam and you'll quit. And then you'll tell all your friends and family how such and such is a scam. And I'm serious. You could be a $10 buy-in or a $10,000 buy-in, but if you don't treat it as a multi-million-dollar business and look at it that way, it never will be a multi-million-dollar business. It probably won't even be profitable to you, because if you really believed that that entity was worth millions of dollars, you would treat it far differently. You would work it far differently. Your efforts would be far greater, and your results would be 30 times what your efforts are if you really treated it that way. So, but that's what MLM drives me nuts, is the business model itself, the compensation plans. I mean, I understand the allure of residual income and build it once and earn it forever and all that, but that makes it far more difficult to maintain. Okay, it's not a franchise. If you were selling franchise, you were the franchise. You are the McDonald's brothers, or Ray Kroc, who bought it from McDonald's brothers, or you're Dave Thomas starting Wendy's. That is very, very different than if you're a sales guy selling franchises, which is essentially what you are with an MLM. Direct sales, you're not selling a franchise. I'm selling opportunity for someone to have their own business. They put their label on it. They put their brand on it. They put their personality into it. It is a business opportunity that becomes their business. Now they can either, and especially the stuff that I have going on right now, you can either resell it, which is one way to do it. And what most people do, though, is they utilize the tools to help other businesses, especially in the marketing side of things. And they help their local business. They talk to local business owners. They help local businesses utilize the power of phones and applications on smartphones and internet to be local and to have a local presence that really expands beyond what they're going to get from the yellow pages or just the newspaper. Okay, because newspapers are dying, and who in the world uses yellow pages much anymore? And flyers and all that other stuff are really a waste of time. But email marketing, blog marketing, article marketing can really help your local businesses, and that is where I'm finding far more success as on direct sales. Is not trying to get people to buy my product to sell it again. It's to buy the products to utilize to help their local business. Just go down your phone book and you can just walk down your local main street, and you'll find all kinds of businesses you can help. Dry cleaners and restaurants and all these things to help bring in more customers, and they'll appreciate it. Maybe you write blogs about the local restaurants. And that's the whole point of some sites like Examiner and others, is to make it universal because it's on the internet, but it's really what you're after is that local traffic, that local feel, that local know-how. You'll get connections from local oriented websites, and you can make quite a bit of money helping other businesses make money. And that's what most people do with what offerings I have through the ProU and things like that. So anyway, that's what the deal with MLM. That's why I have in the MLM headaches. I have 20 years experience in MLM, various MLMs. I've been Herbalife twice, I believe. There's not been a single MLM I've been a part of where I didn't like the products. Loved them all. They were all good. It was always a business model. I mean, that's the thing with the home shopping club. I was making money, making good money. They changed the compensation plan, and the way my stuff was structured didn't fall into being as profitable anymore. So I said, yeah, forget it. If you're going to do that, and it would have taken a great deal of effort to fix it. It was easier just to shut that down and go on and build something that had a compensation plan more along my lines. But again, you get tired of building it and building it and building it and building it. And I'd rather direct sale to people, help them empower themselves, and then multiply out their own efforts and watch them grow, because that's where I'm going to get the greatest satisfaction. It's not from the money, it's from watching people come to life. And if you look at Danny Johnson, if you look at the Dave and Dave, I can never remember their last names, Empower Network, that's the whole point of that, is to really, and they even named it Empower Network for that very reason. You have a network of individuals and teams and people and trainers and some of the best training out there. Much of it's free once you're in the system. Unbelievable stuff. And it's about empowering people. It's not about selling them something and teaching them to sell it so much. It is about selling them something that's going to empower them, something that they're going to embrace, and they're going to get 100 times more benefit from them than you are that initial sale. And it's a whole new way of looking at it. Now it's come full circle in many ways, because now we're starting to do the iPhone and the Android applications. The idea is to have local focus. I mean, imagine you walk into your local Chinese restaurant and you say, hey, and they've got a website. Almost every business has a website. I don't care how small they are, they'll have a website. You can get websites for as cheap, I mean, under $5 a month. I mean, come on, you know, and it'll look good. And they'll have their menu on there. Some they have where you can order, and things about the owners and their story. I love it when local restaurants put their story, why they're in business and where they came from. And I love talking to the owners about. I love it when especially when they're foreign owned and they come here into the United States and they come to America for opportunities, and I talk to them about their story, and they know me by what I order. Many times they don't even know my name, but they know what I order. They know what I tend to do, like, or they'll know my voice, and I walk in and, you know, my stuff's ready to go. It's awesome. And so imagine having that kind of relationship with someone and saying, have you ever considered having an iPhone app? Okay, and I'm not saying for tens of thousands of dollars. I mean, you can spend a lot of money on developers to do an iPhone app. I'm talking $3,000 to get not just an iPhone app, but opening a whole world of possibilities that propel the localness of that business and expose it wider in the local area. Because obviously, it doesn't. If you have a local restaurant, they're not going. Someone from Germany isn't going to order takeout, right? They're not going to call from Frankfurt, Germany and say, yeah, I'm going to be by in 15 minutes. No, it's the local presence and that local identity, and then local-oriented websites will start pulling that in, and all of a sudden they're getting lots of traffic, and they get more customers, and people will find out their story, and they'll say, hey, I like that. I want to try this out, just because of the personalities behind it. And that's usually what happens with local businesses. People tend to go back because they have some manner of a relationship with the person on the other side of the counter. They may like them, they may know them personally, they may like their story, they may just like their smile, but there's something that connects. And that is what is missing in MLM. That connection is missing. In direct sales, if you don't make that connection, there's absolutely no sale, there's nothing. And that's the kind of connections I make with people. That's the kind of connections that propel me. The kind of connections that get me to do these videos. They get me to open up, to get me to smile, and get me talking so fast I get out of breath. So there you go. MLMs, great products, good people, bad business model, at least for me. Okay? That's my take on it.